Reddit went public with a lot of noise. The stock had momentum out of the gate, but as the filings roll in and analysts start digging deeper, the cracks are showing. This is not a simple growth story. It's a complex mix of opportunities and landmines. Let's break it down in full. First, the red flags, 20 of them. Then, the reasons Reddit still has a real shot to grow. By the end, you'll see both sides clearly. 20 red flags for Reddit as an investment. 1. Insider control. Reddit went public with a dual class share structure. That means insiders hold Class B shares with 10 times the voting power of ordinary investors. Even though Reddit is now publicly traded, insiders control about 97% of the vote. For everyday shareholders, this means you don't really have a voice. You're buying into a business you can't influence. 2. Dilution risk. Reddit pays a lot of employees with stock options, restricted stock units, performance stock units. It's all in the filings. Over time, those shares vest, get exercised, and hit the market. Every new share reduces your piece of the pie. The 10K explicitly warns that future issuances could weigh down the stock. 3. Advertising dependence. More than 90% of Reddit's revenue comes from ads. That's a single-stream business model. If advertising budgets tighten, Reddit doesn't have a safety net, unlike Meta, which has multiple apps and products, or Google, which has cloud, YouTube, and search. Reddit lives or dies on ad dollars. 4. Reliance on Google traffic. Reddit's visibility is tied heavily to search results. When you Google a question, odds are a Reddit thread is near the top. But what happens when Google decides to answer questions directly in its AI summaries instead of sending traffic to Reddit? That's like a massive risk. One algorithm tweak could cut off millions of visits. 5. Fragile profitability. Reddit recently reported its first quarterly profit. That's a milestone. But a single profit doesn't prove sustainability. Growth is already slowing. Daily active user growth has come down from 37% to 31% year over year. If costs rise or revenue dips, profits vanish. 6. Volatility. Reddit trades like a meme stock. A news headline, a moderation controversy, or an AI rumor can swing the stock double digits in a single session. For long-term investors, that's risk. 7. Insider selling. Executives and early backers are already cashing out through from 4 filings and lockup expirations. When the people with the best view of the company are selling, that doesn't inspire confidence. 8. A thin moat. Communities can be sticky but not indestructible. Users can migrate. Discord offers real-time chat. Niche forums still exist. AI chat tools can answer questions instantly. Reddit's edge is cultural, not technological. That's not the strongest moat. 9. Regulatory risk. Governments around the world are tightening rules on content moderation, data use, and misinformation. For a platform built entirely on user-generated content, compliance is a never-ending cost center. A new law could force heavier moderation or restrict data licensing, directly hurting revenue. 10. Execution risk on new revenue streams. Reddit is trying to branch out with new ad formats, data licensing, and AI insights. But none of these are proven at scale. If they flop, Reddit burns money and credibility. 11. FTC scrutiny. The Federal Trade Commission has already opened an investigation into how Reddit licenses user content to AI companies. That's brand new legal terrain. If regulators decide Reddit overstepped, fines or new restrictions could follow. 12. Patent threats. Nokia has accused Reddit of infringing on certain patents. If that escalates into litigation, Reddit will be tied up in expensive legal battles. 13. User backlash. When Reddit raised API prices last year, moderators staged mass protests. Thousands of subreddits went dark. That wasn't a minor story. It was a global news event. The Reddit community is powerful, and they're not afraid to revolt against corporate decisions. 14. User migration risk. Research shows that when Reddit shut down third-party apps, around 22% of those users simply left the platform. Once people walk away, many don't come back. 15. toxicity and misinformation. Reddit has valuable communities, but it also has echo chambers, misinformation, and toxic subreddits. That's a moderation nightmare. It's costly to police and dangerous for advertisers who don't want their brand next to controversial content. 16, broken developer ecosystem. For years, third-party apps, mod tools, and researchers supported the platform. The new paid API structure cut many of them off. That weakens the ecosystem that made Reddit vibrant and manageable. 17, valuation risk. Analysts argue Reddit trades at high multiples of revenue, valuations that assume near-perfect execution. If Reddit misses growth targets by even a little, the stock could tumble. 18, ad cyclicality. Ad revenue is highly sensitive to the economy. When recession fears hit, ad budgets are the first to get cut. With no diversification in revenue, Reddit is exposed to every macro hiccup. 19, float and liquidity issues. With insiders holding most of the stock, the public float is relatively small. That means less liquidity and more volatility. It also means governance is lopsided, with insiders holding all the cards. 20, infrastructure and cost risk. Running Reddit isn't cheap. Billions of posts, constant moderation, and new AI tools all cost money. If Reddit overspends on infrastructure while revenue growth slows, losses come back fast. That's the bear case. 20 clear red flags. Why Reddit could still be a strong investment. Now the bull case, Reddit has real strengths that make it unique in the tech landscape. 1. Massive cultural footprint. Reddit is the internet's front page. It's the hub where memes are born, trends are spotted, and communities thrive. That cultural importance gives it staying power. 2. Huge daily user base. Over 70 million people use Reddit daily. That's not a niche platform. That's a global force with reach across every interest imaginable. 3. Attractive demographics. Reddit skews young, tech-savvy, and higher income. That's exactly the kind of audience advertisers love to reach. 4. Data licensing. Reddit's archive of user conversations is one of the richest data sets in the world. AI companies are already paying to license it. The deals with Google and OpenAI show that Reddit's content has enduring value. 5. Community stickiness. Once users join a subreddit they care about, they rarely leave. Whether it's our Wall Street bets, our parenting, or our cooking, the pull of those communities is strong. That long-tail engagement is a huge asset. 6. Untapped monetization. Compared to Meta or Google, Reddit is still early in its monetization journey. Ads on Reddit are less mature, which means there's more upside per user as the ad platform develops. 7. Brand trust. People don't just use Reddit for entertainment. They use it for answers, reviews, and real opinions. That level of trust is rare on the internet, and it makes Reddit a go-to destination in search. 8. Advertiser opportunity. Because Reddit's content is community-driven, advertisers can place ads in context. A sports brand can show up in our NFL, a food brand in our recipes. That's highly targeted, authentic advertising that's hard to find elsewhere. 9. Global growth potential. Reddit is still heavily focused on the US. Expanding internationally into Europe, Asia, and emerging markets could dramatically expand its user base and revenue. 10. Acquisition optionality. Reddit is unique enough that a larger tech company might decide to buy it. Whether it's for the data, the communities, or the cultural influence, Reddit is the kind of property that fits into a bigger portfolio. The bottom line, Reddit is a paradox. On one side, you've got 20 major red flags: insider control, dilution, over-reliance on ads, heavy dependence on Google, shaky profits, volatility, insider selling, a weak moat, regulatory heat, unproven new products, FTC investigations, patent threats, community backlash, user migration, toxicity, broken APIs, valuation risk, ad cyclicality, thin float, and rising costs. On the other side, you've got undeniable strengths: a massive cultural footprint, a huge and loyal user base, premium demographics, valuable data for AI, sticky communities, untapped monetization, brand trust, unique advertiser targeting, international growth potential, and even acquisition appeal. So, that's the story of Reddit's IPO, full of risks, full of potential, and ultimately the choice is yours. Thanks for watching.